Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to No Exit. I'm Darby Kolwyck, and I'm the director, producer, editor, and actor of this Zoom experience. We are so excited to have you join us for this afternoon's stream staged reading. If you have not done so, please consider donating to our Venmo at No Exit 2020. As in lieu of ticket sales, we are raising money for the North Carolina Black Repertory Company. No donation is too small. We are delighted to share this hellish adventure with you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
So, here we are.
Yes, Mr. Garcin.
And this is what it looks like.
Yes.
Second Empire furniture, I observe. Well, I dare say one gets used to it in time.
Well, some do, some don't. We cater to all sorts here, from China and India. What use would they have for a Second Empire chair?
And what use do you suppose I have for one? Do you know who I was? Well, it's no great matter. And to tell the truth, I had quite a habit living among furniture that I didn't relish, and in false positions. I'd actually come to like it. A false position in a Louis Philippe dining room. You know the style. It has its points. Bogus in bogus, so to speak.
And you'll find that living in a Second Empire room has its points.
Really? Yes. Yes, I dare say. Still, I certainly didn't expect this. You know what they tell us down there.
What about?
About this domicile.
Really, sir? How could you believe such cock and bull stories from people who have never set foot in here? For, of course, if they have, they...
Quite right. But I dare say, where are the instruments of torture?
The what?
The racks and red-hot pincers and other such paraphernalia.
Ah, you must have your joke, sir.
My joke? Well, I see. Only I wasn't joking. No mirrors, I observe. And no windows. That's only to be expected. But damn it all, they might have left me my toothbrush.
That's good. So you haven't given up your, what do you call it, sense of human dignity. Excuse me for smiling.
I'll ask you to be more polite. I realize the position I am in, but I will not tolerate.
Sorry, sir. No offense, but all of our guests ask the same silly questions, if you'll pardon my saying so. Where are the instruments of torture? They all ask that at first. They never ask about the bathroom requisites, I can assure you. But after a bit, once they've gotten their nerve back, then they start in about toothbrushes and whatnot. For God's sakes, Mr. Garcin, can't you use your brains? What would I ask would you need with brushing your teeth?
Yes, of course, you're right. And why should one want to look at oneself in a looking glass? But that bronze contraption there on the mantelpiece, that's another story. I could stare my eyes at it. Stare my eyes at it. You see what I mean? All right. Let's put our cards on the table. I assure you, I am quite conscious of my position. Shall I tell you what it feels like? A man is drowning, choking, sinking by inches until only his eyes are just above the water. And what does he see? Some bronze atrocity by, what's that fellow's name? Bobbie? A collector's piece. As in a nightmare. That's their idea, is it? No. I suppose you're under orders not to answer questions, and I shan't press you, but I have a good notion of what's coming to me, so don't boast that you've caught me off my guard. I'm facing the situation. I'm facing it. So, that's it then. No toothbrush. And no bed either. I suppose one never sleeps.
That's it.
Just as I expected. Why should one sleep? A sort of drowsiness steals in on you. It tickles you behind the ears, and you feel your eyes closing. But why sleep? You lie down on the sofa, and in a flash, sleep flies away, miles and miles away. And so you sit up and you start all over again.
Well, romantic, that's what you are.
Will you keep quiet? Please? I won't make a scene. I shan't make a fool of myself. I'll face the situation. As I said just now, face it fairly and squarely. I won't have it springing up me from behind before I've had a chance to seize it up. And you call that being romantic. So this one doesn't need rest. And why bother about sleep if one isn't sleepy? That stands to reason, doesn't it? Wait a minute. There's a snag somewhere, something disagreeable. Why now? Should it be disagreeable? See, it's life without a break.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? What do I mean by that? I thought as much. That's why there is something so beastly, so damn bad-mannered in the way that you stare at me. You're paralyzed.
What are you talking about?
Your eyelids. We move ours up and down. Blinking, we call it. It's a small black shutter that comes down and makes a break. Everything goes black. One's eyes are moistened. You can't imagine how restful, refreshing it is. 4,000 little rests per hour. 4,000 little respites. Just think. So that's the idea. I'm to live without eyelids. Don't act the fool. You know what I'm talking about. No eyelids, no sleep. It follows, doesn't it? I shall never sleep again. But then, how shall I endure my own company? Please try to understand. I'm fond of teasing. It's second nature with me, and I'm in the habit of teasing myself, but plaguing myself, if you prefer. I can't go on doing that without a break. Down there, I had my nights. I always had good nights, as if by way of compensation, I suppose. Happy little dreams. There was a green field, just an ordinary field. I used to stroll it. Is it daytime now?
Can you see? The lights are on.
Yes, I've got it. It's your daytime, and outside.
Outside?
Damn it, you know what I mean. Beyond that wall.
There's a passage.
And at the end of the passage,
there's more rooms, more passages, and stairs.
And what lies beyond them?
That's all.
Surely you have a day off sometimes. Where do you go?
To my uncle's place. He lives on the 3rd floor. He's the head valet.
I should have guessed. Where's the light switch?
Well, there isn't any.
What? Can't one turn off the light?
The management can turn off the current if they want to, but I can't remember them having done that on this floor. We have all the electricity we need.
So one has to live with one's eyes open all the time.
To live, did you say?
Don't let's quibble over words. With one's eyes open, forever, always, daylight in my eyes and in my head. I suppose I took that bronze contraption on the mantelpiece there and dropped it on the lamp. Wouldn't it go out?
You can't move it. It's too heavy.
You're right, it's too heavy.
Very well, sir. If you don't need me anymore, I'll be off.
Wait, you're going? That's Belle, isn't it? And if I ring, you're bound to come.
Well, yes, that's so, in a way, but you can never be sure about that bell. There's something wrong with the wiring, and it doesn't always work.
It seems to be working all right.
So it is. Well, I shouldn't count on it too much if I were you. It's capricious. I really must go now.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Never mind. What's this?
An ordinary paper knife.
Are there books here?
No.
Then what is the use of this? Very well. You may go. Valet! Valet!
Did you call, sir?
No.
This is your room, madam. There's any other information you require? Most of our guests have quite a lot to ask me, but I won't insist. Anyhow, as regards to the toothbrush and the electric bell and that thing on the mantelpiece, this gentleman can answer anything as well as I could. We had a little chat, him and me.
Where's Florence? Didn't you hear? I asked you about Florence. Where is she?
I haven't an idea.
Oh, that's the way it works, is it? Torture by separation. Well, I can assure you won't get far. Florence was a tiresome little fool, and I shan't miss her in the least.
I beg your pardon. Who do you suppose I am?
You. Why, the torturer, of course.
Oh, well, that is a good one. It's too comic for words. I, the torturer. So you came in, you had a look at me and thought I was one of the staff. Oh, of course, it's that silly fellow's fault. She should have introduced us. Oh, torturer indeed. I'm Joseph Gatsan, a journalist and man of letters by profession. And since we're both in the same boat, so to speak, I might ask you, Mrs.
Not Mrs. I'm unmarried.
Right. Well, it's a start, anyway. Well, now that we've broken the ice, do you really think I look like a torturer? And by the way, how does one know how to recognize torturers when one sees them? Evidently, you've ideas on the subject.
They look frightened.
Frightened? But how ridiculous. Of whom should they be frightened? Of their victims?
Oh, laugh away. But I've often watched my face in the glass.
Glass? How beastly of them. They've removed everything in the least resembling a glass. Anyhow, I can assure you that I am not frightened. Not that I take my position lightly. I recognize its gravity all too well. But I am not afraid.
No, that's your affair. Must you be here all the time, or do you take a stroll outside now and then? Oh, that's too bad.
I can quite understand that it bores you, my being here. I, too. Quite frankly, I'd rather be alone. I have things to think about, set my life in order. And one does that better by oneself. But I'm sure we'll manage to pull together somehow. I'm no talker. I don't move much. I'm really a peaceful sort of fellow. Only, if I may venture on a suggestion, we should both make a point of being extremely courteous to one another. At least the situation. Well,
I'm not polite.
then I must be polite for two.
Your mouth.
I beg your pardon.
Can't you keep your mouth still? You keep moving it about. It's grotesque.
So sorry, I hadn't noticed it.
Oh, that's just what I reproach you with. There you are. You talk about politeness and you don't even try to control your face. Remember, you're not alone, okay? You've no reason, no right to inflict the sight of your fear on me.
And what about you? Aren't you afraid?
What would be the point? There was some point in being afraid before, while one still had hope.
It's still before. There's no hope. But we have not yet begun to suffer.
That's so. Well, what's going to happen?
I'm waiting.
No, don't look up. I know what you're hiding behind those hands. I know that you have no face left. What? But I don't know you.
I'm not the torturer, madam.
Well, I never thought you were. I thought someone was playing a rather nasty trick on me. That's all. No. Well, then we're to stay by ourselves? This gentleman, this lady, and myself.
There's nothing to laugh about.
Well, it's those sofas. They're so hideous. And just look how they've been arranged. It makes me think of New Year's Day, when I used to visit this old, boring old aunt of mine, Aunt Mary. Her house was full of horrors like that. I suppose each of us is to have a sofa of his own. Oh, is that one mine? One cannot expect me to sit on that one. It is vivid green, and I am in pale blue.
Would you prefer mine?
The colette-colored one. I mean, that's very sweet of you, but really, no. I don't think it'd be too much better. But what's the good of worrying, anyhow? We've got to take what comes to us, and I'll stick to this green one. The only one that would do at a pinch is that gentleman's.
Didn't you hear, Mr. Garçon?
Oh, the sofa, you mean? So sorry. Please, take it.
Thanks. Well, as we're to live together, I suppose we better introduce ourselves. My name's Rigol, Estelle Rigol.
And I'm Inez Cyrano.
Joseph Gaston.
You're very pretty. If only we had some flowers to welcome you with.
Flowers? Yes, I loved flowers. Only they'd fade so quickly here, wouldn't they? It's so stuffy. Oh, well, the great thing is to keep as cheerful as we can. Don't you agree? Of course, you two are...
Yes. Last week. What about you?
I'm quite recent. Yesterday. As a matter of fact, the ceremony's not quite over. Huh. The wind's blowing my sister's veil all over the place. She's trying her best to cry. Come, dear, make another effort. Well, that's better. 2 tears. 2 little tears twinkling under that black veil of hers. Oh, dear, what a sight Olga looks this morning. She's holding my sister's arm, helping her along. She's not crying. And I really don't blame her. Tears always seem to mess up one's face, don't they? Olga was my bosom friend, you know.
Did you suffer much?
No, I was only half conscious, mostly.
What was it?
Pneumonia. Oh, it's over now. They're leaving the cemetery. Goodbye. Goodbye. Quite a crowd they are. My husband stayed at home. Prostrated with grief, I'm sure. How about you?
The gas stove.
And you, Mr. Garçon?
12 bullets through my chest. Sorry, I fear I'm not good company among the dead.
Oh, please don't use that word. It's so crude and terribly bad taste, really. It doesn't mean much anyhow. Somehow I feel we've never been as much alive as we are right now. I suppose if we have to mention this state of things, I suggest we shall call it absent. Have you been absent for long?
About a month.
Where do you come from?
From Rio.
Well, I'm from Paris. Do you have anyone left down there?
Yes. My wife. She's waiting at the entrance of the barracks. She comes there every day, but they won't let her in. Now she's trying to peep between the bars. She doesn't yet know that I'm absent. But she suspects it. Now she's going away. She's wearing her little black dress. So much the better. She won't need to change. She isn't crying, but she never did cry. Anyhow, it's a bright, sunny day, and she is like a black shadow creeping down the empty street. Those big, tragic eyes of hers with that martyred look they always had. Oh, how she got on my nerves.
Oh, Estelle.
Please, Mr. Garçon.
What is it?
Well, you're sitting on my sofa.
I beg your pardon.
You looked so far away. I'm sorry if I disturbed you.
I was setting my life in order. You may laugh, but you'd do better to follow my example.
Oh, no need. My life's in perfect order. It tidied itself up nicely of its own accord, so I needn't bother about it now.
Really? You imagine it's so simple as that? Oh, how hot it is in here. Do you mind if I...
Oh, how dare you? No, please, don't. I loathe men in their shirt sleeves.
All right. Of course, I used to spend my nights in the newspaper office, and it was a regular black hole, so we never kept our coats on. Stiflingly hot, it could be. Stifling. It's night now.
Oh, that's so. Olga is undressing. It must be after midnight. How quickly time passes on Earth.
Yes, after midnight. They've sealed up my room. Everything's pitch dark and empty.
They've strung their coats on the backs of the chairs and rolled up their shirt sleeves above the elbow. The air stinks of men and cigar smoke. I used to like living among men in their shirt sleeves.
Well, in that case, our tastes differ. That's all it proves. What about you? Do you like men in their shirt sleeves?
Oh, I don't care much for men anyway.
I really can't imagine when I put us three together. It really doesn't make much sense.
What's that you said?
Well, I'm looking at you two, and we're going to live together. It's so absurd. I expected to meet old friends or relatives.
Yeah, a charming old friend with a hole in the middle of his face.
Yes, him too. He danced the tango so divinely, like a professional. But, I mean, why should we, of all people, be put together?
A pure fluke, I should say. They lodge things as they can in the order of their coming. Why are you laughing?
Well, because you amuse me with your flukes as if they left anything to chance. But I suppose you've got to reassure yourself somehow.
I wonder now, don't you think that maybe we've met each other sometimes in our lives?
Never. I wouldn't have forgotten you.
Okay, or perhaps we have friends in common. I wonder, do you know Dubois Seymours?
Not likely.
Oh, well, but everyone went to their parties.
What's their job?
Oh, they don't do anything. But they have a house in the country and hosts of people come to them.
I didn't. I was a post office clerk.
Yes. Well, of course. In that case. And you, Mr. Garçon.
We've never met. I always lived in Renee.
Well, then you must be right. It is mere chance that has brought us three together.
Mere chance. Then it's by chance that this room is furnished as we see it. That the sofa on the left is a livid green and that one on the right is wine red. Mere chance. Well, just try to switch the sofas and you'll see the difference soon enough. And that statue on the mantelpiece, do you think that's there by accident? I tell you, they've laid it all out for us perfectly. Nothing was left to chance. This room was all set for us.
But really? I mean, everything here is so hideous. It's all in angles. It makes me so uncomfortable. I've always loathed angles.
And do you think I lived in a Second Empire drawing room?
Well, so it was all fixed up beforehand.
Yes, and they've put us together deliberately.
Then it's not mere chance that you are sitting precisely opposite of me. But what can be the idea behind that?
Ask me another. The only thing I know is that they're waiting.
I never could bear the idea of anyone expecting something from me. It always made me want to do just the opposite.
Well, do it. Do it if you can. The only thing is you don't know what they're expecting.
Well, it's outrageous. What, so something's coming from me, from you two? Something nasty, I suppose. There are some faces that tell me everything. Yours don't convey anything.
Look here. Why are we together? You've given us quite enough hints. You may as well come out with it.
Okay, but I know nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm just as much in the dark as you are.
We've got to know.
If only each of us had the guts to tell
Tell what?
Estelle.
Yes?
What have you done? I mean, why have they brought you here?
Well, that's just it. I haven't a notion. Not the foggiest. You know, in fact, I'm wondering if there's been some kind of ghastly mistake. Don't smile. I mean, just think of the number of people who become absent. Every day there must be thousands and thousands, and they're probably sorted out by understrappers, you know what I mean? Stupid employees who don't know their job very well. So they're bound to make a mistake sometime. But do stop smiling. Well, why don't you speak? If they made a mistake on my half, they might have done the same for you. And you two. Anyhow, isn't it better to think that we've gotten here by mistake?
Is that all you have to tell us?
What else should I tell? Well, I've nothing to hide. I lost my parents when I was a kid, and I had my young brother to bring up, and we were terribly poor. So when a friend of my family offered for me to marry him, I accepted. He was very well off, but he was quite nice. My brother was a very delicate child. He needed all sorts of attention. So really that was the right thing for me to do, wasn't it? My husband was old enough to be my father. But for 6 years, we lived a happy married life. And then 2 years ago, I met the man that I was fated to love. I mean, we knew it the moment that we set eyes on each other. He asked me to run away with him. But I refused. And then The pneumonia took me. That's the whole story. No doubt by certain standards, I did wrong to sacrifice my youth to a man nearly 3 times my age. What, do you think that could be considered a sin?
Certainly not. And now, tell me, do you think it's a crime to stand by one's principles?
Of course not. Surely no one could blame a man for that.
Wait a bit. I ran a pacifist newspaper. And then war broke out. What was I to do? Everyone was watching, wondering, will he dare? Well, I dared. I folded my arms and they shot me. Had I done anything wrong?
Wrong? God, on the contrary, you were a hero.
Hero! What about your wife, Mr. Garcon?
That's simple. I rescued her from the gutter.
Oh, you see. You see.
Yes, I see. No, look here, okay? What is the point of play acting? Trying to throw dust in each other's eyes. We're all tarred by the same brush.
How dare you?
Yes, we are criminals. Murderers. All 3 of us. We are in hell, my pets. And they never make mistakes, and people are not damned for nothing.
Stop. For heaven's sake.
In hell, damn souls. That's us. All 3.
Keep quiet. I forbid you for using such just disgusting words.
Damn soul. That's you, my little plaster saint. And ditto, our friend there, the noble pacifist. We've had our hour of pleasure, haven't we? There have been people who burn their lives out for our sakes, and we chuckle for it. So now we have to pay the reckoning.
You keep your mouth shut, damn it.
Well. I understand now why they put the 3 of us together.
I advise you to think twice before you say any more.
Wait, you will see how simple it is. Childishly simple. Obviously, there aren't any physical torments. You agree, don't you? And yet, we're in hell, and no one else will come here, and we're to sit in this room forever and ever and ever. In short, there is someone absent here, the official torturer.
I noticed that.
It's obvious what they're after. An economy of manpower, or devil power if you prefer. Same idea as in a cafeteria, where customers serve themselves.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean that each of us is to serve as torturer for the 2 others.
No. I shall never be your torturer. I wish neither of you any harm. And I feel concerned with you. None at all. So, the solution is easy enough. Each of us stays put in his or her corner and takes no notice of the others. You here, you here, and I there. Like soldiers at our posts. Also, we mustn't speak. Not one word. And that won't be difficult. Each of us has plenty of material for self-communing. I think I could stay 10,000 years with only my thoughts for company.
Well, have I got to keep silent too?
Yes! And that way, we'll work out our salvation, looking into ourselves and never raising our heads. Agreed?
Agreed.
Then goodbye.
What a crowd in Whitefriars Lane. They've set trestles in a row. With a scaffold and the knife and a pail of bran below, come see the merry show. Come, good folks, to Whitefriars Lane. Come to see the merry show. The headsmen rose at crack of dawn, eat a long day's work in hand, chopping heads off generals, priests and peers and admirals, all the highest in the land. What a crowd in Whitefriars Lane. See them standing in a line, ladies dressed up so fine. Oh, 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 yeah. Come to see the merry show.
Excuse me, have you a glass? Any sort of glass will do. Even if you won't speak to me, you might as well lend me a glass.
Don't worry, I have a glass in my bag. Oh, it's gone. They must have taken it from me at the entrance.
Oh, God, how tiresome.
What's the matter?
I feel so queer. Don't you ever get taken that way? When I can't see myself, I begin to wonder if I truly, really exist. I pat myself sometimes just to make sure, but it doesn't really help much.
Well, you're lucky. I'm always conscious of myself and my mind. Painfully conscious.
Yes, in your mind. But everything that goes on in one's mind is so vague, isn't it? It makes one want to sleep. I've 6 big mirrors in my bedroom. Oh, well, there they are now. I can see them, but they don't see me. They're reflecting the carpet, the settee, the window. But how empty it is, a glass in which I'm absent. When I talk to people, I always made sure there was always a mirror nearby in which I could watch myself talking. I used to watch myself talking, and somehow it would keep me alert, seeing myself as others saw me. Oh dear, my lipstick. I'm sure I've probably put it on all crooked. No, I can't do without a looking glass forever. I simply, I can't.
Well, suppose I try to be your glass. Come pay me a visit, dear. Here's a seat for you right on my sofa. Oh, he doesn't count.
But we're going to hurt each other. You said it yourself.
Do I look as if I wanted to hurt you?
Well, one can never tell.
Much more likely you'll hurt me. But we've got to suffer. It might as well be at your hands. Your pretty hands. Well, sit down. Come closer. Closer. Look into my eyes. What do you see?
Oh, I'm there. Oh, but I'm so small I can't see myself properly.
But I can. Every inch of you. Now, ask me questions. I'll be as candid as any looking glass.
Please, Mr. Garcon, I'm sure that our chatter isn't bothering you.
Don't worry about him. As I said, he doesn't count. We're alone. Ask away.
Are my lips all right?
Show. They're a bit smudgy.
Oh God, I thought as much. Luckily, no one's seen me. I'll try again.
That's better. No, follow the line of your lips. Oh, here, I'll guide your hand. There. That's quite good.
But as good as when I came in.
Oh, far better, crueler. Your lips look quite diabolical that way.
Good gracious, and you say that you like it? How maddening it is not be able to see for myself. You're quite sure, Miss Serrano, that I look all right.
Oh, won't you call me Inez?
Are you sure it looks all right?
Oh, you're lovely, Estelle.
But how can I rely upon your taste? Is it the same as my taste? Oh, how sickening it all is. I mean, it's enough to drive one crazy.
Well, I have your taste, my dear, because I like you so much. Look at me. No, straight. Now smile. I'm not so ugly either. Am I not nicer than your glass?
Oh, well, I don't know. You scare me, rather. My reflection of the glass never did that. Of course. I did it so well. Like something I had tamed. Well, I'm going to smile and smile and smile, and my smile might just seep down into your pupils, and heaven knows what it'll become.
Why shouldn't you tame me? Look, I want you to call me Inez. We are to be great friends.
I don't make friends with women very easily.
Oh, not with postal clerks, you mean? What's that? That tiny red spot at the bottom of your cheek. A pimple?
A pimple? Oh God, how simply foul. Where?
There. You know the way they catch larks with a mirror? I'm your lark mirror, my dear, and you can't escape me. There isn't any pimple. Not a trace of one. Suppose the mirror started telling lies. Or suppose I refuse to look at you like that gentleman is doing there. All of your loveliness just wasted on the desert air. Oh, but don't be afraid, my dear. I can't stop looking at you. I shan't turn my eyes away. And I'll be nice to you. Ever so nice. Only you must be nice to me too. Are you really attracted? Very much indeed.
I wish he would notice me too. Of course. Because he's a man. But look at her. Damn it.
Quite so. Not a word. I stuck my fingers in my ears, but your voices thudded against my brain. Silly chatter. Now, will you leave me in peace, you two? I'm not interested in you.
Yeah, not in me, perhaps, but what about her? What about this child? Aren't you interested in her? Don't even try to pretend. You got on your high horse just to impress her.
I asked you to leave me in peace. There's someone talking about me in the newspaper office, and I want to listen. And if it'll make you any happier, let me tell you I've no use for the child, as you call her.
Thanks.
Oh, I didn't mean it rudely.
You cad.
So, that's that. You know, I begged you not to speak.
What? It's her fault. She started it. I didn't ask anything of her, and she offered me her glass.
So you say, but the whole time you were making up to him, trying every trick to get his attention.
Well, why shouldn't I?
You're crazy, both of you. Don't you see where this is leading us? For pity's sake, keep your mouths shut. Now, let's all sit down again, quite quietly. We'll look at the floor, and we must try and forget that the others are there.
To forget about the others. How utterly absurd. I feel you there in every pore. Your silence clamors in my ears. You can nail up your mouth, cut your tongue out, but you can't prevent your being there. Can you stop your thoughts? I hear them ticking away like a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And I'm certain you hear mine. It's all very well skulking on your sofa, but you're everywhere, and every sound comes to me soiled because we've intercepted it on its way. Why, you even stole in my face. You know it, and I don't. What about her? About Estelle, you've stolen her from me too. If she and I were alone, do you suppose she'd treat me as she does? No, take your hands from your face. I won't leave you in peace. You just go on sitting there in a sort of trance like a yogi. And even if I didn't see her, I'd feel it in my bones that she was making every sound, even the rustle of her dress for your benefit, throwing you smiles you couldn't see. So I won't stand for that. I prefer to choose my hell. I prefer to look you in the eyes and fight it out face to face.
Have it your own way. I suppose we were bound to come to this. They knew what they were about, and we're easy game. If they put me in a room with men at least can keep their mouths shut. But it's no use wanting the impossible. So, I attract you. But it seems you were making eyes at me.
Don't touch me.
Why not? We might anyhow be natural. Did you know that I used to be mad about women? Some of them fond of me. We may as well stop posing. We've nothing to lose. Why trouble about politeness and decorum and the rest of it? We're between ourselves. And presently, we shall be naked as newborn babes.
Let me be.
As newborn babes. I'd warned you. asked so of you. Just peace and a little silence. I even put my fingers in my ears. Gomez was spouting away, as usual, standing in the center of the room with all the press men listening, in their shirt sleeves. I tried to hear, but it wasn't too easy. Things on Earth move so quickly, you know. Couldn't you have held your tongues? Now it's over. He's stopped talking, and what he thinks of me has gone back into his head. Well, we've got to know somehow. Naked as we were born. So much the better. I want to know with whom I have to deal.
You know already. There's nothing more to learn.
You're wrong. As long as each of us hasn't made a clean breast of it, why they've damned him or her, we know nothing. Nothing that counts. So you, young lady, you shall begin. Why? Tell us why. If you are frank, if we bring our specters out into the open, it may save us from disaster. So, why?
I tell you, I haven't a notion. They wouldn't tell me why.
Oh, that's so. No, they wouldn't tell me either. But I have a pretty good idea. But perhaps you're shy speaking first. Right. I'll lead off. I am not a very estimable person.
Well, no need to tell us that. We know you were a deserter.
Let that be. It's only a side issue. I'm here because I treated my wife abominably. That's all. For 5 years. Naturally, she's suffering still. There she is, the moment I mention her. I see her. It's Gomez who interests me, and it's she I see. Where's Gomez got to? For 5 years. There. They've given her back my things. She's sitting by the window with my coat on her knees. It's the coat with the 12 bullet holes. The blood's like rust, a brown ring around each hole. That's quite a skin piece. That coat is scarred history. And I used to wear it. Fancy. Now, can't you shed a tear, my love? Surely you'll squeeze one out at last. Can't manage it. Night after night, I came home blind drunk, stinking of wine, women. She'd sat up for me, of course. But she never cried, never offered one word of reproach. Only her eyes spoke. Big, tragic eyes. I don't regret anything. I must pay the price, but I shan't whine. It's snowing in the street. Won't you cry? Confound you. A woman's a bound martyr. A victim by vocation.
Why did you hurt her like that?
It was so easy. A word was enough to make her flinch. Like a sensitive plant. Never a reproach. I'm fond of teasing. I watched and waited, but no. Not a tear. Not a protest. I picked her up from the gutter. You understand? She's stroking the coat. Her eyes are shut and she's feeling with her fingers for the buttons. What are you after? What do you expect? I tell you, I regret nothing. The truth is, she admired me too much. Is that anything to you?
No, nobody admired me.
So much the better. So much the better for you. I suppose all this strikes you as very vague. Well, here's something that you can get your teeth into. I brought a half-caste girl to stay in our house. My wife slept upstairs. She must have heard everything. She was an early riser, and as the girl and I stayed in bed late, she served us our morning coffee.
You brute.
Yes, a brute, if you like, but a well-beloved brute. No, it's nothing. Only Gomez, and he's not talking about me. What were you saying? Yes, a brute. Certainly. Why else should I be here? Your turn.
Well, I'm what some down there would call a damned bitch. Damned already, so it's no surprise me being here.
Is that all you have to say?
Well, there was that affair with Florence, a dead man's tale with 3 corpses to it. He to start, then she and I. So there's no one left. Nothing to worry about. It was a clean sweep. Only that room, I see it now and then. Empty with the doors locked. Oh, you unlocked them. It's to let. To let. That's too ridiculous.
3 deaths. You said.
3.
1 man and 2 women.
Yes.
Well. Did he kill himself?
No, he hadn't the guts for that. Still, he'd every reason we led him a dog's life. As a matter of fact, he was run over by a tram. A silly sort of end. God, I was living with them. He was my cousin.
Was Florence fair?
Fair. You know, I don't regret a thing. Still, I'm not so keen on telling you the story.
That's all right. So, you got sick of him?
Quite gradually. All sorts of silly little things started to get on my nerves, you know? He made this sound when he was drinking, this sort of gurgle, trifles like that. He was rather pathetic, really vulnerable. Why are you smiling?
Because anyhow, I'm not vulnerable.
Oh, don't be too sure. I crept inside her skin. She saw the world through my eyes. When she left him, she was on my hands. We shared a bed sitting room at the other end of the town.
And then?
And then that tram did its job. I used to remind her every day. I'd say, we killed him between the 2 of us. It was rather cruel, really.
So am I.
No, you're not cruel. Something else.
What?
I'll tell you later. When When I say I'm cruel, I mean that I can't go on without making people suffer. Like a live coal in others' hearts. When I'm alone, I flicker out. For 6 months, I flamed away in her heart until there was nothing left but a cinder. One night, she got up, turned on the gas stove, and then crept back into bed. So now you know.
Oh,
Yes, what's in your mind?
nothing. Only that it's not a pretty story.
Obviously. But what matter?
As you say, what matter? Your turn. What have you done?
As I told you, I haven't a notion. I rack my brain, but it's no use.
Right. Then we'll give you a hand. That fellow with the smashed face. Who is he?
Who do you mean?
You know quite well the man you were so afraid of seeing when you came in.
Oh, him. He's a friend of mine.
And why were you afraid of him?
That's my business, Mr. Garçon.
Did he shoot himself on your account?
Of course not. How absurd you are.
Then why should you have been so scared? He blew his brains out, didn't he? That's how his face got smashed.
Don't. Please, don't go on.
Because of you. Because of you.
He shot himself because of you.
Leave me alone. It's not fair the two of you are bullying me like that. I want to go. I want to go.
Go if you can. Personally, I ask for nothing better. Unfortunately, the door is locked.
You're hateful, both of you.
Hateful. Yes, that's the word. Now get on with it. That silly fellow who blew his brains out. You were his mistress, eh?
Of course she was. And he wanted to have her to himself alone. That's so, isn't it?
He danced the tango like a professional. But he was poor as a church mouse. That's right, isn't it?
Was he poor or not? Give us a straight answer.
Yes, he was poor.
And you had your reputation to keep up. One day, he came and implored you to run away with him, and you laughed at his face.
That's right. You laughed at him, and he shot himself.
You used to look at Florence in that way.
Yeah.
Well, you've got it all wrong. You two. He wanted me to have a baby. So there.
And you didn't want one.
I certainly didn't. But the baby came. Worse of luck. I went to Switzerland for 5 months. No one knew anything. Roger was with me. It pleased him to no end having a daughter. It didn't please me.
And then?
And then there was a balcony overlooking the lake. I brought a big stone. He could see what I was doing, and he kept on shouting, "Estelle, please don't." I hated him then. We saw it all. Looking over that balcony, he saw the ripples spreading across the water.
Yes? And then?
Well, that's all. I went back to Paris, and he did as he wished.
You mean he blew his brains out?
It was absurd of him. Really? I mean, my husband never suspected anything. Oh, how I loathe you.
Tears don't flow in this place.
I'm a coward. I'm a coward. And if you knew how I hated you.
Poor child. Well, the hearing's over. There's no need to look like a hanging judge.
A hanging judge? I'd give a lot to be able to see myself in the glass. How hot it is. Sorry.
Don't bother. You can stay in your shirt sleeves as things are.
Just so. You mustn't be angry with me, Steph.
I'm not angry with you.
And what about me? Are you angry with me?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Garcin, now you have us in the nude, all right? Do you understand things any bit better for that?
I wonder. Yes. Perhaps a trifle better. Now, suppose we start trying to help each other.
I don't need help.
Inez, they've laid their snare damned cunningly, like a cobweb. If you make any movement, if you raise your hand to fan yourself, Estelle and I feel a little tug. Alone, none of us can save himself or herself. We're linked together inextricably. So, you can take your choice. Hello? What's happening?
Let it. The windows are open and there's a man sitting on my bed. They've let it. Let it, but that's my bed. Step in, make yourself at home, you brute. Huh. There's a woman with him too. Now she's going up to him and putting her hands on his shoulders. Damn it, why don't they turn the lights on? It's getting dark. Now he's going to kiss her. He's gonna make love to her on my bed. That's my room. My room. If you please. It's dark now. I can't see anything. Oh, but I can hear them. What are they saying? It's noon and the sun is shining? I must be going blind. Blacked out. I can't see or hear a thing. So I'm done with the earth, it seems. Really dead at last. Oh, I feel so empty. Desiccated. All of me is here in this room. What were you saying? Something about helping? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Helping me to do what?
To defeat their devilish tricks.
And what do you suppose I'd do for you in return?
To help me. It only needs a little effort in his just a spark of human feeling.
Human feeling. That's beyond my range. I am rotten to the core.
And how about me?
No use. I'm all dried up. I can't give, I can't receive. How could I help you? A dead twig, just ready for the burning. Florence was fair, a natural blonde.
You do realize that this young woman is fated to be your torturer.
Perhaps I've guessed it.
And through her, they will get to you, of course. Of course, I'm not different, I'm aloof. I take no notice, I suppose. If you had a trap, it's a trap. They're watching you to see if you fall into it.
I know. And you're another trap. Do you think they haven't foreknown every word we're going to say? And of course, there's a whole nest of pitfalls for you too. Everything here's a booby trap. What can I do? I'm a pitfall too. For her. Obviously. And perhaps I'll catch her.
You won't catch anything. We're chasing each other round and round in a vicious circle like horses on a roundabout. That's part of their plan, of course. Inez, open your hands and let go of everything. Or else you will bring disaster on all three of us.
Okay, do I look like the person who lets go? I know what's coming to me. I'm going to burn, and it's to last forever. Yes, I know everything. But do you think I'll let go? I'll catch her. She'll see the world through my eyes, just as Florence saw that man. What's the good of trying to enlist my sympathy? I assure you, I know everything, and I can't feel sorry even for myself. A trap. Don't I know it? And that I'm a trap myself. Up to the neck. And there's nothing to be done about it. And if it suits their book, so much the better.
Well, I can feel sorry for you. Look at me. We're naked right through, and I can see into your heart. It's the one link between us. Do you think I want to hurt you? I can write anything I'm drying up to, but for you, I can still feel pity.
Don't. I hate being pawed about. Keep your pity for yourself. Don't forget, Garçon, there are pitfalls for you too in here. All nicely set for you. You'd do better to watch your own interests. But if you will leave me in peace, this child in me, I'll see that I do you no harm.
Very well.
Please, Garçon.
What do you want of me?
You can help me anyhow.
If you want help, apply to her.
I implore you, Garçon. You gave me your word, didn't you? Help me! Quick! I don't want to be left alone. Olga's taken him to a cabaret.
Taken whom?
Peter. Well, now they're dancing together.
Who's Peter?
Such a silly boy. He called me his glancing stream, his crystal girl, just fancy. He was terribly in love with me. She's persuaded him to go dancing with her tonight.
Well, do you love him?
They're sitting down now. She's puffing like a gram puss. What a fool a girl is to insist on dancing. But I dare tell you, she does it to refuse. No, of course, I don't love him. He's only 18, and I'm no baby snatcher.
Then why bother about them? What difference can it make?
He belonged to me.
Nothing on earth belongs to you anymore.
Well, I tell you, he was mine. All mine.
Yes, he was yours once. But now, try to make him hear you. Try to make him touch you. Olga can touch him, talk to him as much as she likes. That's so, isn't it? She can squeeze his hand, rub herself against him.
Yes, look. She's pressing her great, fat chest against him, puffing and blowing in his face. Oh, my poor little lamb, can't you see how ridiculous she is? Why don't you laugh at her? All he had to do was give a look and she would go slinking away. Is there really nothing left of me?
Nothing. Nothing of you is left on earth. Not even a shadow. All you own is here. Would you like that pocket knife on the mantelpiece? Or that ornament on the mantelpiece? That blue sofa's yours. And I, my dear, am yours forever.
You mine? Oh, that's good. Well, which of you two would dare call me his glancing stream? His crystal girl? You know too much about me. You know I'm rotten through and through. Peter, dear, think of me. Fixate your thoughts on me and save me. All the time you're thinking, your crystal girl, your glancing stream. I'm only half here. Only half of me is wicked, and then the other half of me is up there with you, clean and clear like running water. Oh, just look at her face. It's all red and scarlet like a tomato. No, it's absurd. We have laughed at her together often and often and... Wait, what's that tune? Yes, I always loved it. The St. Louis Blues. All right, dance away. Garçon, I wish you could see her. You die of laughing. Only she'll never know that I see her. Yes, I see you, Olga, with your hair all anyhow, and you do look like a dope, my dear. Well, now you're treading on his toes. It's a scream. Well, hurry up. Quicker! He's dragging her along, bundling her round and round. It's too ghastly. He used to say that I was always so light. He loved to dance with me. I tell you, Olga, I can see you. She doesn't care. She's dancing through my gaze. Well, you didn't even shed a tear at my funeral. And now you're talking about your, oh, poor dear Estelle. Oh, don't be such a humbug. She has the nerve to talk to him about her poor dear friend Estelle. How dare she discuss me with Peter? Now then, keep time, but you keep time. Oh, she could never dance and talk at once. Oh, what's that? No, don't tell him that, please. Please don't tell him. You can keep him. You can do what you want with him, but please don't tell him about that. Right? You can have him now. Isn't it foul? Garçon, she's told him everything about my trip to Switzerland, about Roger, about the baby. Poor Estelle wasn't exactly. No, I really wasn't exactly true enough. He's looking grave, shaking his head, but he doesn't seem so very much surprised. I mean, not what one would expect. Keep him. Then I won't haggle with you over his girly eyelashes or his girlish face. They're yours for the asking. Yours for the asking. His glancing stream, his crystal. Well, crystal shattered into bits. Poor Estelle. Dance will go on with it, but do keep time. 1, 2, 1, 2. How I would love to just go down to earth and dance with him again. Well, the music's growing fainter. They've turned down the lights as if they're setting up for a tango. Why are they playing it so softly? Louder, please, louder. I can't hear it. It's so far away that I can't hear a sound. It's all over. It's the end. The earth has left me. Don't turn away from me, Garçon, please. Please just take me in your arms.
It's to her you should say that.
Don't turn away. You're a man, aren't you? And surely I'm not such a fright as all that. Well, everyone says I have lovely hair, and after all, a man killed himself on my account. You have to look at something, and there's nothing here to see except those sofas and that awful ornament and then that table. Surely I'm better to look at than a bunch of stupid furniture. Listen, I've dropped out of their heart like a little sparrow fallen from its nest. So gather me up, dear, and fold me to your heart, and you can see how nice I can be.
I tell you, it's to that lady that you should speak.
Her? But she doesn't count. She's a woman.
Oh, I don't count. Is that what you think? Because I'm a woman. But my poor little fallen nestling, you've been sheltering in my heart for ages. Though you didn't realize it. Don't be afraid. I'll keep looking at you forever and ever, without a flutter of my eyelids. And you'll live in my gaze like a mote in a sunbeam.
A sunbeam, indeed. Don't talk such rubbish. You've tried that trick already, and you should know that it doesn't work.
Estelle, my glancing stream, my crystal girl.
Crystal, it's grotesque. Do you think you can fool me with that sort of talk? Everyone knows by now what I did to my baby. The crystal's shattered, but I don't care. I'm just a hollow dummy, and all that's left to me is the outside, but it's not for you.
Estelle, come to me, and you shall be whatever you want to be. A glancing stream, a muddy stream. And deep down in my eyes, you'll see yourself as you ought to be.
Leave me in peace. You haven't any eyes. Oh, God damn it, is there something I can do so you can just get rid of you? I have an idea. There.
Now then, Garçon, you shall pay for this.
So, it's a man you need.
Not any man. You.
No humbug now. Any man would do you business. As I happen to be here, you want me. Mind you, I'm not your sort at all. Really, I'm not a young nincompoop and I don't dance tango.
I'll take you as you are, and perhaps I shall change you.
I doubt it. I shan't pay much attention. I have other things to think about.
Well, what things?
They wouldn't interest you.
Fine. I'll sit on your sofa and wait for you to take some notice of me. I promise I won't bother you at all.
That's right. Fawn on him like the silly bitch you are. Grovel and cringe. And he hasn't even got good looks to commend him.
Don't listen to her. She has no eyes, no ears. She is nothing.
I'll give you what I can. It doesn't amount to much. I shan't love you. I know you too well.
Do you want me anyhow?
Yes.
Then I ask no more.
In that case.
Estelle. Garçon! Okay. You must be going crazy. You're not alone. I'm here too.
Of course. But what does it matter?
Oh, but under my eyes, you couldn't do it.
Why not? I've often undressed with my maid looking on.
Let her alone. Don't paw at her with your man's hands.
Take care. I'm no gentleman, and I have no compunction about striking a woman.
Oh, but you promised me. You promised me. All I'm asking is that you keep your word.
Why should I, considering you were the first to break our agreement?
Very well. Have it your own way. I'm the weaker party, 1 against 2. But don't forget I'm here and watching. I shan't take my eyes off you. Fawn, when you're kissing her, you'll feel my eyes boring into you. Yes. Have it your own way. Make love and get it over. We're in hell. My turn will come.
Now then, your lips. Give me your lips.
Really? Well, didn't I tell you not to pay any attention to her?
You've got it wrong. It's Gomez. He's in the press room. They shut the windows. It must be winter down there. 6 months since I... Well, I warned you I would be absent-minded sometimes, didn't I? They're shivering. They've kept their coats on. Funny they should feel cold like that when I'm feeling so hot. This time he's talking about me.
Was it going to last long? Well, you might as well at least tell me what they're saying.
Nothing. Nothing worth repeating. He's a swine. That's all. A goddamn bloody swine. Let's come back to ourselves. Are you going to love me?
I wonder now.
Will you trust me?
What a quaint thing to ask, considering that you're going to be under my eyes at all times. And I don't think I have much to fear for my Nez as far as we're concerned.
Obviously. I was thinking. a different kind of trust. Talk away! Talk away, you swine! I'm not there to defend myself. You must give me your trust.
What a nuisance you are. I'm giving you my mouth, my arms, my whole body, and everything could be so simple. My trust, I'm afraid I haven't any to give, and you're making me terribly embarrassed. I mean, you must have something pretty ghastly on your conscience to worry about my trusting you.
They shot me.
Yeah, I know, because you refused to fight. Well, why shouldn't you?
I didn't exactly refuse. I must say he talks well. He makes a good case against me, but he never says what I should have done instead. So I went up to the general and said, "General, I decline to fight. It's a mug's game." They would promptly lock me up. My true colors. Do you understand? There's going to be silence. So I took the train and they called me at the frontier.
Where are you trying to go?
To Mexico. I was going to launch a pacifist newspaper down there. Well, why don't you speak?
Well, what can I say? You acted quite rightly, as you didn't want to fight. But darling, how on earth can I guess what you want me to answer?
Can't you guess? He wants you to tell him that he bolted like a lion. For bolt, he did. And that's what's biting him.
Bolted. Went away. We won't quarrel over words.
But you had to run away. If you'd stayed, they'd send you to jail, wouldn't they?
Of course! Still, am I a coward?
How can I say? Oh, don't be so unreasonable. Darling, I can't put myself in your skin. You must decide that for yourself.
I can't decide.
Well, anyhow, you must remember. You must have had some kind of reasons for acting as you did.
I had.
Okay, well.
But were they the real reasons?
Oh, you have a twisted mind. That's your trouble. I mean, plaguing yourself over such trifles.
Not at all. I wanted to make him stand. But was that my real motive?
Exactly. That's the question. Was that your real motive? No doubt you argued it out with yourself. You weighed the pros and cons. You found good reasons for what you did. But fear and hatred and all those dirty little things one keeps dark. God, those are motives too. So carry on, Mr. Garcin, and try to be honest with yourself for once.
Do I need you to tell me that? Day and night, I paced my cell from the window to the door, from the door to the window. I cried into my heart. I slew myself like a detective. By the end of it, I felt as though I'd given my entire life to introspection. But I always harked back to the one thing that was certain, that I had acted as I did. I'd taken the train to the frontier. But why? Why? And finally, my death will settle it. If I face death courageously, I'll prove that I am no coward.
And how did you face death?
Miserably. Rottenly. Oh, it's only a physical lapse. It might have happened to anyone. I'm not ashamed of it. Everything's left in suspense forever. Come here, Estelle. Look at me. I want to feel someone look at me while they talk about me on Earth. I like green eyes.
green eyes. Just hark to him, Estelle. Estelle, do you like cowards?
If you knew how little I care, coward or hero, it's all one, as long as he kisses well.
There they are, slumped in their chairs, sucking at their cigars. Bored, they look, half asleep, and they're thinking, Garcin is a coward, but only vaguely, dreamily. One's got to think of something. That chap, Garcin, was a coward. That's what they've decided, those dear friends of mine. 6 months' time, they'll be saying cowardly as that skunk Garcin. You're lucky, you two. No one on earth is giving you another thought, but I'm long dying.
What about your wife, Mr. Garcin?
I didn't tell you. She's dead.
Dead.
Yes, she died just now, 2 months ago.
Grief.
What else should she die of? Huh. Now, the best, you see. War is over. My wife is dead. I've carved out my little place in history.
My poor darling. Look at me. Please, look. Touch me. Touch me. There. Keep your hand right there. No. No. Don't move away. Why trouble what those men are thinking? They'll die off one by one. Forget them. There's only me now.
They won't forget me. Not they. They'll die, and others will come after them to carry on the legend. I've left my fate in their hands.
You think too much. That's your trouble.
What else is there to do now? I was a man of action. I'd fling the lie in their teeth. I'm locked down. They're passing judgment on my life without troubling about me. And they're right, because I'm dead. Dead and done with. A back number.
Garcon.
Now listen. I want you to do me a service. No, don't shrink away. I know it must seem strange to asking for your help. You're not used to that. But if you'll take the effort, and if you'll only will it hard enough, I dare say we really can love each other. Look at it this way. 1,000 of them are proclaiming that I am a coward. But what do numbers matter? If there is someone, just one person, who can say quite positively that I did not run away, that I am not the sort who runs away, that I am brave and decent, and the rest of it, well, that one person's faith would save me. Will you have faith in me? Then I shall love you and cherish you forever. Estelle, will you?
Oh, you dear, silly man. Do you think I could love a coward?
But now, just now.
I was only teasing you. I like men, my dear, who are real men with tough skin and strong hands. You haven't a coward's chin, or a coward's mouth, or a coward's voice, or a coward's hair. And it's for your mouth, your hair, your voice. I love you.
Do you really mean it?
Shall I swear it?
And I snap my fingers at them all, those below and those in here. And Estelle, we shall climb out of hell. What's that?
But she doesn't mean a word of what she says. How can you be such a simpleton? Estelle, am I a coward? Oh my God, as if she cared. Either way.
Inez, how dare you? Don't listen to her. If you want to have faith in me, you must begin by trusting me.
That's right, that's right. Trust away. She wants a man. That far you can trust her. She wants a man's arm around her waist, a man's hand through her hair, a man's eyes glowing with desire. She wants a man. And that's all she wants. She'd assure you were God Almighty if she thought it would bring you pleasure.
Still, this is true. Answer me, is it true?
What do you expect me to say? Do you realize how maddening it is to have to answer questions one can't make head or tail of? You do make things difficult. Anyhow, I'd love you just the same, even if you were a coward. Isn't that enough?
You disgust me. Both of you.
What are you up to?
I'm going.
Oh, well, you won't get far. The door is locked.
I'll make them open it.
Please, please.
Don't worry, my pet. The bell doesn't work.
I tell you, it shall open. Through with you both. Away. You're even fouler than she. I won't let myself get bogged down in your eyes. You are soft and slimy. Like an octopus, like a wax worm.
I beg you not to leave me. I promise I'll not speak again. I won't trouble you in any way. But don't go. I daren't left to be alone with Inez now that she's shown her claws.
Look after yourself. I never asked you to come here.
Oh, how mean you are. You know, yes, it is quite right. You are a coward.
Well, my little sparrow fallen from the nest. I hope you're satisfied now. You spat in my face, playing up to him, of course, and we had a tiff on his account, but he's going, and good riddance to him. We two women will have the place to ourselves.
You won't gain anything. If that door opens, I'm going too.
Where?
I don't care where, as far from you as I can.
Open the door, blast you. I'll endure anything. Your red-hot tongues and bolts and lead, your racks and bombs and garrots, all your fiendish gadgets, everything that burns and plays and tears. I'll put up with any torture you impose. Anything would be better than this. Agony of mine, this creeping pain that gnaws and fumbles, caresses one and never hurts quite enough. Now, will you open?
Oh, well, Garçon, you're free to go.
Now, I wonder why the door opened.
What are you waiting for? Hurry up and go. And you, Estelle. So what? Which shall it be? Which of the three of us shall leave? The barrier's down. Why are we waiting? Oh, but what a situation. It's a scream. We're inseparables.
Inseparables! Garçon, come and lend me a hand. Quickly! We'll push her out and slam the door on her. That will teach her a lesson.
No, Estelle, I beg you. Please let me stay. I won't go. I won't go. Not into the passage.
Let go of her.
You're crazy. She hates you.
It's because of her. I'm staying here.
Because of me. All right. Shut the door. It's hot in here. Because of me, you said?
Yes. You, anyhow, know what it means to be a coward.
Yes, I know.
And you know what wickedness is. And shame. And fear. The day when you peered into yourself, into the secret places of your heart, what you saw there made you faint with horror. And then the very next day, you didn't know what to make of it. You couldn't interpret the horror that you had glimpsed the day before. Yes. You know what evil costs. And so when you say that I am a coward, you know from experience. Is that not so?
Yes.
So it's you who I have to convince. You who are of my kind. Do you suppose I meant to go? I couldn't leave you here, gloating over my defeat with all those thoughts about me running through your head.
You really wish to convince me.
It's the one and only thing I wish for now. I can't hear them any longer, you know? That probably means that they're through with me. For good and all. The curtain is down, and nothing of me is left on earth. Not even the name of coward. So, Inez, we are alone. Only you two remain to give a thought to me. And she doesn't count. You matter. You need me. If you have faith in me, then I am saved.
It won't be easy. I mean, just look at me. I'm a hard-headed woman. Yes. We have lots of time. All time.
Each man has an aim in life. A leading motive, that's so, isn't it? Well, I didn't give a damn for wealth or love. I aimed at being a real man, a toss, as they say. I staked everything on that one horse. Can one possibly be a coward when one's deliberately courted danger at every turn? And can one judge life by a single action?
Why not? For 30 years, you dreamt you were a hero and condoned 1,000 petty lapses because a hero, of course, can do no wrong. An easy method, obviously. Then a day came when you were up against it. The real red light of danger, and you took the train to Mexico?
I dreamt. You say it was no dream. When I chose the hardest path, I made my choice deliberately. A man is what he wills himself to be.
Prove it. Prove it was no dream. It's what one does and nothing else that makes the person that shows the stuff one's made of.
I died too soon.
Oh, one.
I wasn't allowed time to do my deeds.
Yeah, okay, one always dies too soon, okay, or too late. And yet, one's life is complete at that moment with a line drawn neatly under it, ready for the summing up. You are your life and nothing else.
What a poisonous woman you are, with an answer for everything.
Now, don't lose heart. It shouldn't be so hard convincing me. Pull yourself together, man, or rake up some arguments. Wasn't I right when I said you were vulnerable? Now you're going to pay the price. And what a price. You're a coward, Garcon, because I wish it. Because I wish it. Do you hear that? I wish it. And yet, just look at me. See how weak I am. A mere breath on the air, a formless gaze that stares upon you. You're open now. Those big hands. Those coarse man's hands. Oh, but what do you hope to do? You can't throttle thoughts with hands. So, you've no choice. You must convince me, and you're at my mercy.
Garcon,
What?
revenge yourself.
Ow!
Kiss me, darling, and then you'll hear her squeal.
You're mine as well.
Oh, you coward. You weakling, running to women to console you.
That's right, Inez. Squeal away.
What a lovely pair you make. If you could see his big paw splayed on your back. Oh, but be careful. He's sweating. He's going to leave a stain on your nice blue dress.
Squeal away, Inez. Squeal away. Hug him tight. Like that. Tighter still. That'll finish her off in a good thing, too.
Yes, Garcon, she's right. Carry on with it. Press her to you till you feel your bodies melting into each other. Love of warm, throbbing flesh. Love's a grand solace, isn't it, my friend? Deep and dark as sleep. But I'll see you don't sleep.
Don't listen to her. Press your lips to my mouth. Oh, I'm yours. Yours. Yours.
Well, what are you waiting for? Do as you're told. What a lovely scene. Coward Garcon holding baby killer Estelle in his arms. Make your stakes, everyone. Will coward Garcon kiss the lady or won't he? What's the betting? I'm watching you. Everybody's watching you. I'm a crowd all by myself. You hear the crowd? Don't you hear them muttering? Coward, 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 coward. That's what they're saying. It's no use trying to escape. I'll never let you go. What do you hope to gain from her lips? Forgetfulness? but I shan't forget you. Not I. It's I you must convince. So, come to me. I'm waiting. Come along now. Look how obedient he is. Like a well-trained dog who comes when his mistress calls. You can't hold him. You never will.
Will night never come?
Never.
And you will always see me.
Always.
This bronze. Now's the moment I'm not looking at this. It's thing on the mantelpiece, and I understand that I am hell. I tell you, everything's being thought out beforehand. They knew that I would stand in the fireplace with this thing of bronze with all these eyes intent on me, devouring me. I thought there'd be more. Many more. So this is hell. I never believed it. Torture chambers, the fire, stove, the burning marl. Old West. There's no need for red hot peppers. Hell is other people.
My darling, please.
No, let me be. She's the truth. I cannot love you when she is watching.
Right. Well, in that case, I'll stop her watching.
Oh, but you crazy creature! What do you think you're doing? You know quite well I'm dead.
Dead?
Dead. Dead. Knives, poison, ropes, all useless. It has happened already. Do you understand once and for all? So here we are. Forever.
My God, how funny. Forever.
Forever and ever and ever. Well. Let's get on with it.